Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We're talking Saturday, August 23rd. Happy Saturday, everybody. I loved the Dong slate today, so I'm playing it pretty heavily. 12 players on Dong Watch for you guys today. That ties the most players on Dong Watch for a day we've had on this season. Last time we did that, it worked out well, so hopefully that happens again. Of course, going to give you my three favorites if you would rather just play those and not even worry about spraying the board. I highly recommend spraying the board. That's where I've found the most success this season. To do a recap of yesterday before we get into today, decent day yesterday, kind of. We got two late home runs. Both of them happened after I went to sleep. So I went to bed thinking I was going to be a loser. Woke up in the green, thankfully, to Junior Caminero and William Contreras, up about 0.2 units basically on the Dong report yesterday. Missed out on Seymour Butts in Newt Bar. That Cardinals-Rays game, at least I was able to get one, but really been letting me down. And then Buxton let me down, Sosa, and then Witt Jr., Perez, Ben Rice. None of them came through with home runs, but a day in the green is not terrible, especially because we were in the red on Thursday. That now makes it profit 5 out of the last 6 days, bringing our profit up to 5.35 units on the year, about 4% ROI, just under that number. Obviously, those numbers aren't amazing. Things really started to turn around since June 21st when I started to spray the board. Once again, I did it for like a weekend in May and that went horribly. But since June 21st, which is 2 months at this point, gone pretty well, up 12 units. Obviously, that's not amazing, but we'll take it. You know, if you're putting 1 unit on every single home run, you're up like 95 units, but that's a little bit misleading because you see yesterday I put 0.1 units on all of these players. And I'm not recommending anybody risk 10 units on home runs. But if you do, all power to you. Regardless, decent day yesterday. Loved the slate today. A lot of really juicy matchups. From a weather perspective, not a lot of incredible matchups. It's really just the pitching matchups and the hot batters that I fell in love with today. And we can get right into it. So the first play that we're locking in here is actually 3 players on the Mariners. It's Julio Rodriguez, it's Randy Arozarena, and it's Eugenio Suarez. I'm taking all 3 of them to hit a home run. Last time I took 3 players to hit a home run on the Mariners, it was Wednesday. That ended up working out for us. The odds on them are okay. Suarez is actually, Suarez is 350. Arozarena is 400 at FanDuel, and then Julio Rodriguez is 350 at FanDuel. So all 3 of them are best offered on FanDuel. Again, 360, 400, and 350. The reason I'm going with them is they're going up against a left-handed pitcher in Jeffrey Springs, a left-handed pitcher who's gotten smoked by right-handed pitching recently. Home run every essentially 18 at-bats he's allowed to righties over the last 6 weeks. None of his advanced metrics are horrible, but the home runs have definitely been there. And all 3 of these players crush left-handed pitching. On the year, Raleigh has the best, but he's kind of in a funk, and his odds are pretty stinky, and I didn't really like the look on him. But Suarez, 311 ISO rate on the year against lefties is very good. Julio Rodriguez, 279 ISO rate against lefties is very good. And Randy Arozarena, 225 is average. If you look at the last 30 days, 256 is much, much better. So it's kind of funny, like the 2 hottest against lefties are Rodriguez and Arozarena, but the guy that has the best numbers on the year is Eugenio Suarez. In terms of the batters that are hottest at the plate, Suarez is doing the best job barreling the ball up with 4 barrels over the last week. That's a really good number. Rodriguez has an acceptable 2 barrels in 9 hard hits, but he hits lefties the hardest. But all 3 of these guys had a good day at the plate yesterday. 2 hard hits for Randy Arozarena, 2 hard hits for Julio. Now, Suarez, I am going against what I normally like to do. Suarez had 1 hard hit that was a home run. I normally try to avoid those situations, but because he's hitting so well and because it's a lefty, I decided to take it. And you look into those, hardest hit of the game was Eugenio Suarez, just annihilated that baseball. Julio had 101 miles an hour off the bat and had a flyout that was 98.7, traveled 355 feet. That's not amazing, but that's not terrible. And then Arozarena needed to hit the ball a little bit harder, but I like the fact that both of his hard hits were flyouts. So I do think that there's a lot of good situations for all 3 of these players, which is obviously why I'm taking them. My favorite of the 3 was Julio Rodriguez. So if you just want to play the favorites, it would be Julio. I recommend spraying the board. Next up, I also have 3 players on the Royals. I'm taking Vinny Pasquantino, a.k.a. Pasquatch. I'm taking Jonathan India, and I'm taking Mike Yastrzemski. So my favorite of the three is going to be Pasquatch. I have avoided him for 4 straight days. He's hit a home run for 4 straight days, and I know people don't like taking players to hit back-to-back. Well, what about someone that's gone 5 straight? I hit him on the first night, missed him since. Really, what it comes down to is the pitching matchup. The Padlock, a.k.a. Chris Paddock, is pitching, and the guy's just a home run machine. Home run every 14 at-bats allowed over the last 6 weeks, and all these numbers are so bad. The fly ball rate, I guess, isn't terrible, but the line drive rate is high. The hard hit rate is high. The barrel rate is high. He's bad against righties, and he's bad against lefties. Slightly worse against lefties. And these players on the Royals are hitting the ball very well. Obviously, Pasquatch is, because of all the home runs that he's hit, but it's 6 barrels, 9 hard hits for Pasquatch over the last week is fantastic. 3 barrels, 9 hard hits for Yaz is pretty good. 2 barrels and 7 hard hits for India is respectable, but I really liked the odds on him. Now, speaking of odds, Pasquatch is best offered at plus 400. You can get that at both FanDuel and 365. Also at ESPN Bet as well, if those have moved. India is 830 at FanDuel. That's really why I liked him, was because the odds all the way up at plus 830. That's fantastic. And then Yaz is plus 500 best offered at Bet 365. I didn't go with Bobby just because I liked the plays better on the other guys, but Bobby, if you really just wanted to spray the board, Bobby Perez, those are all good looks. I limited myself to 3. These guys also had good days at the plate yesterday. And the thing with India, like I said, he's plus 830. He hit a baseball 396 feet yesterday. So his flyout was absolutely annihilated, which I like. And then the other players, obviously Pasquatch is on a crazy roll. Another 2 hard hits yesterday. And then Yaz had another 2 hard hits yesterday as well. And only 3 at-bats because they ended up taking him out against a lefty reliever. But all 3 of these guys hitting well. So is Bobby. But if you look at his EV logs, it's a 2-degree launch angle, 8-degree launch angle, and -11. Not a single one of those hits were above 100 miles, were above a 10-degree launch angle. You just got to lift that ball a little bit more, which is why another reason why I ended up going with him. But again, all these players are good on the Royals. I just limited it to the 3. Tried to find the best in terms of value with odds and then also recent form, which is what led me to them. Again, of the 3, Pasquatch is my favorite and the second of my 3 favorites. So if you just want to play them, it would be Pasquatch. Then also taking India and Yaz. Next up, I am taking 4 players on the Mets. It's Juan Soto, it's Francisco Lindor, it's Brett Beatty, and it's Mark Vientos. And my favorite of the 4 is actually Vientos. But the reason why I'm taking 4 players on the Mets is Cal Quantrill is another dong ball pitcher. You look at him, home run every 22 at-bats over his last 6 starts. Really bad numbers across the board, especially a low strikeout rate. Like you're allowing essentially the same level of barrel rate and strikeout rate. That is really bad. He's allowing batters to put the ball in the air. He's allowing batters to hit the ball hard. And the Mets are just, their bats really is, I'm chasing what they did at the plate yesterday. You look at some of these guys. 3 hard hits for Lindor, 4 hard hits for Juan Soto, and he did hit a home run. So some people aren't going to like that, which I understand. Not going with Pete because he's kind of similar to Bobby, where he just hasn't been able to get lift on the ball. And then 2 hard hits for Mark Vientos and 4 hard hits for Brett Beatty. I like the odds on these players a lot as well. 350 for Soto is decent. 475 for Lindor is pretty good. 750 for Beatty is really good. And then Vientos was 525 at Bet 365. For whatever reason, he's not pulling up on this screen, but he's 525. He actually, again, of the 4 players in the Mets, he's my favorite. You look at Mets batters, we're looking at just total barrels over the last week. Soto and Vientos have 5. That's really good. 10 hard hits for Soto, 13 for Vientos. That's really good. And then look at the other 2. 14 hard hits for Beatty, 3 barrels, 2 barrels for Lindor, 14 hard hits. Like those are really good numbers. You compare those barrel and those hard hit numbers league wide. So Pasquatch leads the MLB with 6 barrels. And then look, Soto, Vientos. I mentioned Suarez, we're on him, but Suarez before, you go down like Beatty had, and then you go to the hard hits is what I'm looking at next. And then you see Lindor, Beatty. So you just see how well, and then Vientos right behind him, and then Soto not far behind him. You see how well these Mets players are hitting against the dong ball pitcher. The weather in this one is average. It's going to be hot and it's going to be humid, but slight winds blowing in. Now, the wind isn't going to matter that much. It's not a stadium that is super receptive to wind, but it's going to be a little bit. But I guess not necessarily hot. It's going to be the high 70s, so that's not going to be crazy hot, but it's humid, which is going to help with carries. So it's kind of average from a weather perspective, but it's really just backing a team that is just raking at the plate. A ton of hard hits for all four of these guys, with Vientos being my favorite of the four. 2 players left, both of them in standalone games. Next up, I'm going with Riley Adams to hit a home run. He is best offered at +5. Actually, that might have moved. I got him at 525. If you can get 540 at FanDuel, obviously that's better, but 525 I'm perfectly fine with. Another one of those batters that you see with 4 barrels over the last week, Riley Adams on the Nats, 4 barrels. He's not an everyday player, so his barrel rate, 44%, is fantastic. His hard hit rate, 77%, is fantastic. Now, you look at players with a little bit more of a playing time, 40, like that second highest barrel rate and hard hit rate is the 4th high. So hitting really, really well. He did hit a home run yesterday, so I understand some people aren't going to like that. I think I have 4 players today that hit a home run yesterday. Now, that's a third, 4 out of 12, so it's not like I'm targeting a ton of those guys. Like I said, it's a third of the players today. But he had a good day at the plate. I mean, he smoked the home run, 106 miles an hour off the bat. And then he also had, granted, it was a ground out, so you want to see that ball put in the air, but still 100 miles an hour off the bat. That's a decent day. This is the best weather game of the day from a home run perspective. The temperature is going to be mild, or it's going to be fine. It's not going to be mild. It's going to be fine, but it's super windy with winds blowing out. And the Phillies pitcher, Aaron Nola, is nobody I trust in the slightest. Now, he made his first start in a while last week, his first start since like May. So you really can't look into that much, but you look at him on the year. Home run under every 20 at-bats. He's been definitely worse against lefties, but I know enough about Aaron Nola that he can get hit up by both sides of the plate. And I'm just looking at a player on the Nats who's doing the best job barreling the ball up. You look at the Nationals, who leads the team in barrels. Only player on the Nats with more than 1 barrel is Riley Adams. Hitting the ball really, really well. 100 EV on average is really good. And there's a ton of players with stinky odds in this game. You look at it like Schwarber best offered 158 is some straight to jail for those odds. Harper best offered at 285, straight to jail. Castellanos being in the 300s, straight to jail. Now there are some positive EV plays, like, I mean, Ballpark Pal still likes Casty even at those low odds. They like Bettor. They like Trey Turner. James Wood, best offered at 325, straight to jail. Josh Bell, 350, like really, really bad odds. But obviously you see Ballpark Pal likes this game a lot, so if you just want to spray the board with all these players. Same thing like JT, best offered at 375, straight to jail. Terrible odds for a lot of these guys, just not worth it, which is what settled on Riley Adams because he's hitting the best and we're getting a decent price. And then my last play of the game is Roman Anthony. We're taking him to hit a home run. He is best offered at +450 odds at Bet3. Actually, no, excuse me, 490 at Fanatics. That's the best offered price, 490 at Fanatics. Roman Anthony is another one of the players that you see with 4 barrels over the last week. You see he's got 4 barrels, 12 hard hits. Like one of 15 batters with 4 or more barrels, one of 15 batters with 12 or more hard hits. That's a pretty good company. Like if you look at all the batters that fit in this category, it's Roman Anthony, it's Mark Vientos, it's Corey Seager, and it's Kyle Schwarber. Like that's pretty good company to be in the 4 barrel, 12 hard hit category, which everybody knows. That's like basically, the 500 home run number. It's also the 4 barrel, 12 hard hit in the last week number. Roman Anthony didn't have a good day yesterday, but Max Fried was pitching, so we can forgive him for that. As for today, the pitcher is Will Warren, who's got decent strikeout stuff, but he also can get hit up by lefties. You look at him on the year, home run allowed every 24 at-bats to left-handed hitters. You look at him over the last 6 weeks, that number goes down to every 16 at-bats. And Roman Anthony's been fantastic. In Yankee Stadium, I love taking lefties at Yankee Stadium. The weather perspective, the wind is actually going to help righties more than lefties because you see that it's pretty heavy winds blowing to left field as opposed to right field. But you look at this short right field porch, you see it's still pretty highly rated balls hit to right field. And Roman Anthony doing a good job pulling the ball at a 42% pull rate. You'd like for this fly ball rate to be higher, but the rate he's barreling the ball up, that's totally fine. So yeah, that's all we got. Ton of players today, plus a ton of stinky odds players as well, which I'll go over in a second. But in terms of my official plays, it's Julio Rodriguez, and he is one of the 3 favorites. So I'll go ahead and highlight him green now. Eugenio Suarez and Randy Arozarena finishing out that game. Roman Anthony, Riley Adams, standalone games. Pass Watch was the second of my 3 favorites, also taking Jonathan India and Mike Yastrzemski in that one. And then 4 players on the Mets, with Vientos being my favorite, but taking Brett Beatty, Vientos. He was 575. I think I said 25, 575, and then Soto and Lindor. Ton of stinky odds players today. I mentioned the players on the Phillies. This isn't every single one. These are just kind of ones that I wanted to highlight. Real Muto and Harper. I like the matchup. I hate the odds. Michael Busch. I mean, you look at the odds. I wanted to go over here. The odds for Michael Busch. I mean, what are we doing at plus 280? And not, this game's in Angel Stadium, which is a fine hitter's park, but not amazing. Plus 280 is gross. You look at a lot of the players in the Twins game, like Buxton, 245. You look at Lennon Sosa. He was just 525 yesterday, and now he's 525. You look at Colson Montgomery, or excuse me, he's 350. I think I misspoke. He's 350. Colson Montgomery's 325. I like the look on both of them. I hate the odds. And then, yeah, those are the main ones. And then I mentioned Schwarber is disgusting at that price. So if you want to do something with the stinky odds plays, you can. I'm not touching them. I already have 12. So it's like I'm already playing a lot. But that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure to bet responsibly, and have a good one.